What's going on YouTube? Lou here from MCC, licensed massage therapist and certified personal trainer. And today what I wanted to talk about was why is it so hard to achieve our goals? Okay? So for those of you guys that don't know, I am a master, and I mean master, goal setter. Especially, a few years ago when I became a trainer and I found out about SMART goals. SMART goals is an acronym standing for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, so I set goals using the SMART goal method. And like I said, over the years, I've become a master, and I mean master, at setting goals. But when it comes to actually achieving goals, that's another story, okay? And for me, it's been tough because what I tend to do is I tend to set these goals, and these goals tend to be difficult yet attainable goals. I What happens with me is I tend to come off really really strong, meaning I go full force all the way in. I'm super committed the first maybe week or so, and then from there I just start to level out and just go back to my usual routine, and I just stop pursuing the goal. And for me, over the years, it's been extremely, extremely frustrating. So of course, somebody like me, I like to figure out why it is that we tend to do that. And I understand I'm not alone because I have a lot of clients that say the same exact thing. So, through my discoveries, and I did a lot of reading on neuroscience on how the brain actually operates. And what you find out is that the brain has two main things. The brain's purpose is just two. It's just to keep you safe and to be efficient. And in order to do that, to keep you safe, the brain likes to make you do things that's extremely, extremely familiar. And by doing familiar things, it also keeps you very, very efficient. Because right now, my brain is doing tons of things. It's moving my hands. It's making me breathe. It's listening to the sirens that are going on outside. It's analyzing all types of threats. It's feeling all of this. So it's doing all of this at once that it basically wants to keep me doing the same thing over and over. It wants to be as efficient as possible because the brain is using so much energy, right? So when it comes to setting goals, that's super simple. You're consciously choosing to set these goals, right? Now, when you start to set off to achieve them, the first couple of days you're motivated, you're excited about it, and you're using a lot of willpower to deviate from your usual routine. But usually what happens in the end is your brain is going to bring you back to what you're usually doing. So why is this? Well, particularly if the goal is a high, hard achieving goal, like meaning it's a goal that's going to be a little bit difficult to attain, in order for you to attain that goal, chances are you have to change. Meaning also your brain has to change. It has to fire off new neural pathways. Okay? So if the its main job is to keep you safe and efficient, any type of change the brain sees as a threat. Meaning literally to achieve your goal, your brain sees that in order for me to change into that, to achieve that, the brain really thinks it's life threatening and is going to do anything to pull you back into your normal routine. So this is why for me, when I tend to start something, I go hard for a few days, but somehow I end up going back to my normal routine. And likewise, this is a lot of my clients. So this is your brain's job. So once I realized this, I realized that it wasn't my fault on why I was being pulled back to my normal routine. If anything, it's my brain's fault. Now, that sounds funny, but just because it's my brain's fault, even though it's not my fault, it's my brain's fault. I now understand that I am responsible on achieving my goals. Okay? So once we discover this, we have to figure out a way to start winning, to start achieving them. And the simplest way I could say to do this is, one, you have to recognize that all of your goals should be more of a marathon as opposed to a sprint. Oftentimes we want to sprint to the goals. Like literally we want it now, okay? And we'll do anything to go full on. So for instance, I have, when I work at the gym and the new year comes, what tends to happen is people have a goal they want to reach within a month and a half. They want to lose all this weight within a month and a half. And what do they usually do? They go full force, meaning they go to the gym 7 days a week for like 3 hours at a time. And these are people that have never been to the gym. Like they're in the gym. Like if you see the New Year's resolutioners in the gym is packed. Okay? But what happens is by week 2, it starts to go away. And why is that? Meaning, the gym starts to empty out. It starts to fizzle out. Why is that? Because their brains hijack them to go back to what's normal. Because this is life-threatening to them. This change is a threat. So I'm going to do anything to distract you with comfort and things that are familiar. Okay, so how do we go about changing this then? The truth is, first, again, look at this as a marathon, not a sprint. Set long-term goals, and then from there, start to break down your goals to little, small, attainable goals. So for instance, if you're doing the gym thing again, as opposed to going to the gym 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, start going to the gym, 2 to 3 times a week from 15 to 20 minutes. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but what you're doing here is, believe it or not, so let's say you're a vehicle and you're going this way, or a cruise ship, if you just change your course by 1 degree, like that, just a slight change, that slight change, in 1 year, you'll be in a completely different destination. All right, like with cruise ships, if you just change that course degree by a degree, in 1 year, if you just keep going, you're gonna be in a completely different destination. So that's the first step. Look at this as a marathon, not a sprint. Step 2 is, again, what I kind of just said, set small little things that doesn't deviate you from your normal routine. Now, for some people, they could go full on. Like I have a friend who he could literally change his whole routine and lock himself in a room for 3 days straight and just read books, crank out new information. He has that type of willpower. For average people like me, or average humans, I don't have that type of willpower to just lock myself in a room for 3 days to learn a new skill. And he could literally come out within those 3 days and know what the hell he's doing with that skill. For me, it takes me a while. And, I get distracted easily. So what you must do is set little tasks in 10 to 15 minute increments where you do it, and that's good enough. There's a good enough factor. Now, what happens is when you continuously do this, you build the habit of doing it. So for me, again, with this YouTube channel, I've been working on doing 3.5 minutes of video every single day. Because my goal is to get to 20 hours, because 20 hours means you become pretty good at something. So by doing 3.5 minutes every single day, that's something for me that's doable. Okay, and then whenever I go on my rants, like right now I'm at about, almost 9 minutes, that's fine. I get into that flow state. But this is the key, is my goal was to only get on here for 3.5 minutes. And my goal is not even to put out a video every single day. My goal is to put out a video maybe once a week. This is doable. But this is still difficult. This is still a challenge for me. Okay? So again, first step, marathon, not a sprint. So I'm looking at this YouTube channel as a marathon, not a sprint. 2 small steps, small attainable steps, but yet very, very challenging. Because you want to get into the habit of doing it. And then from there, you start to take on some more. Okay? And then the third thing you have to do is become in love, and I mean in love, with the process as opposed to the outcome. Become in love with the process as opposed to the outcome. Like for me, I'm learning to enjoy being on the camera. although the outcome is I want to become a successful YouTuber, if that's what it takes for me to get excited, then, believe it or not, that might never, ever happen. Me achieving my goals might never, ever happen. But, if I become in love with the process of achieving my goals, this increases my chance of actually achieving them. Like becoming in love with making videos just for the sake of it. And the way I look at it, what else would I be doing anyways? Like for me, this is a lot of fun. I at times very, very frustrating because I'm not in the flow state when speaking and I tend to go all over the place. But I'm starting to learn to become in love with the process. And for you guys too, whatever your goals are, become in love with the process. Look to get better day by day in every way. Little changes. And I'm telling you, this would more than likely increase your chances of achieving that big goal that you have years from now. So I'm looking at this as a marathon, not a sprint. I'm breaking this down into small baby steps, but these baby steps are attainable. And what I mean by baby steps, look at a baby learning how to walk. That's a challenge. It's so small, but it's a challenging step for a baby. So I'm looking at myself as a baby of YouTube. I'm taking small baby steps, but it's still very, very challenging for me. But it's attainable. Okay, and 3, just become in love with the process. Enjoy this shit. Enjoy this. Stop trying to look so far ahead into the outcome of where I'm trying to get to. Because the chances are when you become in love with the process, the chances of you actually achieving your goal is a whole lot more likely. Okay, guys? So hopefully, you understand more now on why it's hard to achieve your goals, because it's not your fault, it's your brain's fault. Your brain's main job is to keep you safe. All right? In order for you to achieve your goal, you have to change, and your brain sees this as life-threatening. Okay? So, the ways to look at it again, look at it as a marathon, not a sprint. Break it down into baby steps. And 3, become in love with the process as opposed to the outcome. Enjoy this shit. All right, guys, so hopefully you found this video very, very helpful. If so, please give me a like. If you see that I'm getting better, please subscribe. But anyways, remember, guys, day by day in every way, we are getting better and better. Peace.